I'm
love.
back with another
And
video.
you can see every little
Today we're
cranny,
going to be doing
all
stuff,
the dust
so we
and
better kill
cobweb,
this stuff.
all the clutter, every imperfection. In short, we can see everything that needs to be loved. Then life becomes a process of lovingly getting that room straightened up. And you know how we hate to clean house. Love brings with it, though, a refinement of our vision. Instead of seeing the housework as a curse, we can begin to see it as a set of opportunities to expand in love.
He was so close.
With this attitude, life becomes rich.
Come on, just kill him.
If only there was a guarantee that learning to love meant that we could refine and never feel off center again.
Yo, I got 2 gunpowder.
Instead, we can only guarantee the opposite. Learning to love yourself will bring into your awareness the very next thing that needs to be loved, and you will be stretched by it, sometimes to the limit. You will forget, as I often do, to love yourself until the very last moment. Then you'll remember again, only to forget again, and then remember. You'll get it and lose it a million times, and it really does not matter, because the essential transformation
So I can make a
takes place at the moment you become
plus something
willing
else.
to love. Being willing to love ourselves means that we are treating life as acceptance rather than resistance. Coming at life from a stance of willingness means that you have changed the one thing that must be changed.
It's one pig.
For me,
First of all, it's
everything.
not even real.
Life took
Second
on
of all,
great
it's a
joy
game.
and depth.
Chill. Okay, bro?
Before that moment, I felt I'd been bored all my life. After that moment,
I know, I don't
everything
care,
unfolded
okay?
with passion.
Trigger me again, I'll slap
My
you.
work as a therapist and
Okay,
teacher
so
became a
that's
blessing
the
rather
living
than
life
burden.
of brothers.
It feels very good to begin each day knowing I'll have the
Clay.
opportunity to assist people in
I can
learning
make
to love
my house
themselves
bricks.
and at the same time learning to love myself more deeply. When we experience what we're experiencing, we line ourselves up with what actually is. We stop pretending that it isn't. This is the source of much power in our lives. Masters are people who allow themselves and others to be the way they are. Accepting what is real is also the source of creativity.
Take a chill pill.
When we line ourselves up with what is true
So
within
now,
ourselves,
just bring
it
this
seems
and
to
this
open us
and
up
that.
to more truth.
This.
And what better thing could life be about
Go
than
up.
opening ourselves
Work
to
everything
more
because we
power,
can understand
clarity,
this.
truth, and love? A second holy moment. That breakthrough moment under the trees gave me a sense of personal unity. After a lifetime of feeling scattered and fragmented, I felt whole. By dropping my resistance to my experience, I found myself aligned internally. I made friends with my feelings and my thoughts, and as a result, I felt no further conflicts. From that moment on, I've known that whatever I experienced was all right.
Which I probably will do because
This experience of inner unity set the stage for 2 more pivotal moments. As I describe these experiences, I find myself using words that have a spiritual connotation as well as a psychological one. It seems common for experiences in psychological growth to evolve into a spiritual quest if pursued deeply. I know that this was the case with me. I'm from a secular background. My religious conditioning was so haphazardly applied as to be minimal, yet it now seems to me perfectly natural to use terms and ideas that I would have sneered at a few years ago. One spring morning, about a year and a half after the experience in the Colorado mountains, I was walking across a college quadrangle. It was spring break, and all was quiet except for the crunch underfoot of a light snowfall from the night before. As I walked along, my thoughts began to turn toward the problem of Christianity. I'd just seen a book on a sale table which contained phrases that Jesus had allegedly spoken. I thought here was a person whose message had been about love and brotherhood, but which had spawned more wars than anything else in Western history. It was a message of liberation, but it had given rise to an organized church that was, in my view, monstrously oppressive. How could all this have happened?
Yeah, but I could just go back to sleep.
I don't know now, and I didn't know then. What happened, though, was that for some reason my mind began to see through the words and concepts about Jesus and Christianity to an experience that must have underlain it all. It occurred to me that perhaps Jesus had tapped a level of consciousness available to everyone. Certainly Jesus had seemed to say this often enough in phrases like, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven within."
Oh yeah, come here.
Perhaps the Christ consciousness exists like a channel on a television set, ready to be dialed in by whoever chooses to take the step. I decided in that moment to take that step.
I'm like that guy
The
who
next
steals
moment, a
kids.
powerful wave of energy rolled through my body, filling me with an electric
You
feeling
done,
of
boy.
exhilaration.
You done so. Give me this.
It was a sweet feeling of heat and light.
And then I just eat rock
In that
flesh
moment,
all
I felt
day.
boundless
And then I
compassion
can't go
for
to sleep,
all
so I'm just
humankind.
gonna go out with
My heart
absolutely
opened with
nothing
love and
except
gratitude to
literally absolutely nothing.
I saw all the earth and heavens as one big being,
I'm a broski.
and it was the recipient of all my love.
Like,
There was no separation among all beings, all nature and myself. All were equal and one. We were all together in a dance of love and celebration. As the intensity of the feeling began to ebb, I saw an image of 3 paths that were open to one who taps into that state of consciousness. One is the path that Jesus took, revolutionary, ending in martyrdom. Another path felt like one in which I could go about life as normal, except that the underlying context of my life could be enriched by becoming an ongoing opportunity to express love and compassion. The third path was not clear to me in the vision, although my guess is that it had something to do with the expression of that consciousness in relationships.
And then give me
The effects of this experience on my life have been exciting to me. First, let me make it clear that I still haven't set foot in the church or tried to convince anybody they ought to do what I did, or done any of the tedious things that I associate with the neurotic expression of the Christ consciousness. What I have found is that most of the conflicts I formerly had with other people and with the universe itself seem to clear up effortlessly. Once I saw that we were all one, that all of us were expressions of a central creative force of the universe,
he got so
I found it hard to hold on to an adversary position with people around me. The experience affirmed more deeply for me something which has become central to my life. If we really want to find out the essence of religions, whether it be Buddhism or Christianity or Druidism, we must be willing to get beyond the concepts and notions about the religion and taste the underlying experience that gave rise to the religion. It surely must be the lack of a recent taste of the experience of what Christianity is all about that sends Christians into war, and obviously no Muslim or Hindu would set his hand against a Buddhist or Confucian if he or she had recently experienced the underlying unity of all religions.
Gosh dang it,
The third moment. The third quantum jump in my ability to love myself happened several years after the one I just described. I relate it to the first 2 moments because it felt connected to them by the quality of the energy I experienced in my body.
You saw that spider, right?
All 3 experiences had that electric vibration that filled my body, followed by an exalted set of realizations that changed the whole context of my life. One August night, I was lying down after a half-hour meditation.
Okay, I'm going to sleep now.
It was my custom to lie down for 10 or 15 minutes after completing my evening meditation.
Now I do.
The period of post-meditation rest feels particularly delicious because it allows the body to rest while the mind is totally silent.
Stupid zombie, I'm
On
trying to
this
have an
night,
emotional
I was
moment
enjoying
now.
the period of quiet immensely because it was a stressful time in my life. I was working hard and at the same time having a series of conflicts with my wife.
You're the worst neighbor
As
I could ever
relaxed
have.
into the silence, I began to speculate about God. I realized in that moment that practically nothing we're taught about God has any real value. It's all based on someone else's experience, if indeed it's based on experience at all. I saw that what we're taught about God can and often does prevent us completely from inquiring into ourselves deeply enough for us to have a personal experience of God. In addition, the information